And that's an important distinction to make, because if you need assistance aligning those goals with your general marketing efforts, or maybe you're a small team and you don't have necessarily a lot of experience in that video or that content marketing world, some videographers are going to be more experienced in that than others. Welcome to Tight Briefs, the marketing podcast that's short and sweet. We want to get you out the door with some creative insight that's going to make a difference for the rest of your week. Today, I want to kick things off by talking about hiring a videographer. You know you need video. Done deal, right? It's 2024. We've had enough meetings questioning, should we do a video? Should we not? Maybe you decided to do a video in 2020 and now you finally jumped through enough hoops that you can actually get the video made in 2024. If you found this video and you're not a marketer, if you're not a business owner, if you're not part of a team, but you're looking for a videographer for a wedding, sporting event, anything that's going to require video capture that's going to help you. Maybe you're a nonprofit. Stick around, because this advice is going to apply just as much to you as it does on the professional side of things, since a lot of it is simply best practices. The first thing I want to talk about is hiring with a purpose. You know you need a video, but do you know exactly what that video is going to be, where it's going to live, and what it's going to do? Because the platform is going to support a certain kind of creative. And this is across all social media, all digital channels. Is this video an advertisement? Is it a piece of organic content? Is this top of funnel? Or is this wedding? Is this a cherished moment, cherished memory? Right? So you want to align these goals before you even reach out to a videographer in the first place, because now you're really going to know what you're looking for. Not that videographers won't assist you in that, but it depends on if you're looking for someone that's going to work in-house inside of your company as an employee, if it's a freelancer for some one-off jobs or maybe some monthly commitments, or if you're looking for a full creative production agency that you want to tackle something big and make a big splash. And that's an important distinction to make, because if you need assistance aligning those goals with your general marketing efforts, or maybe you're a small team and you don't have necessarily a lot of experience in that video or that content marketing world, some videographers are going to be more experienced in that than others. Another reason why you want to get those goals aligned is that you're going to need to communicate to leadership about why this video is important, why it's worth dedicating some budget to it, and they're going to know what it's going to do and what they get in return. So it's likely there are other videos that are succeeding in your space. You're going to show them some use cases, show them some scenarios, even look up the competitors, see what your competitors are doing, and judge based upon their effectiveness how important it is that you dedicate some of that time and energy into a video program. Next, you're going to propose that budget allocation, and you're going to say, we need this much to get X done. And that's going to be the fulcrum of, if that investment is going to turn around, this much needs to go in the pipeline to get this output. So from here, you know your budget, and now you can begin the process of looking for the best possible candidate to make this video happen. So before we move on to some of those options, let's just briefly touch on what it means to buy a video. Because when you buy a video, you are receiving a digital file. You are receiving moving images and audio that's meant to make it easy to upload and transfer and send it all over the world. The price tag for said video is going to include a whole range of things that we'll go into in a moment here. So let's start hunting for our perfect video partner. You're going to ask yourself this question: short-term versus long-term. So here we have a fork in the road, because if you're looking to hire internally or if you're looking to hire externally, there's a varying parameters and understanding that you're going to have to keep in mind. Let's start with hiring short-term externally. So this means freelancers, production houses, creative agencies. These options are going to be more expensive more often than not, but that's due to the higher level of expertise, access to better equipment, a faster turnaround, and you're buying the time of usually a large number of people all at once. So like the whole crew, talent, production rental, travel expenses, all of that's going to be bundled in to make this video happen if you're going that external route.
Editor Mike here with a quick note. What I meant to say here was that hiring externally is usually more expensive up front compared to hiring someone in-house, where that cost is spread across an entire year. That budget will be spent more quickly with an external provider, but you get the results much faster. So it's really a give or take. Neither is more or less expensive than the other. It really comes down to the creator themselves. In fact, hiring externally usually saves money. This is the reason that most people do it. I don't think I ever made that point clear enough here, so I wanted to jump in and just clarify that.
So is that more expensive than hiring someone in-house? Well, it all depends on your goals. So if you're looking to produce one set of ad creative, or you want one wedding video, or you need one video for your yearly fundraiser, short term is going to be a better allocation of those funds, because the other side of that coin is hiring someone internally. And so that's an entire employee, an entire salary, and ongoing demands that this one person handles everything basically by themselves. I'm not saying that's a bad route. In fact, for certain applications, in-house is a preferable move, especially if you are, say, you're brand building and you want to take TikTok really seriously. An outsourced solution for a successful TikTok brand campaign is going to be so expensive it wouldn't be worth it. On top of that, TikTok, you can easily get away with shooting primarily on an iPhone. You don't need a crew of people to make this happen, but the quantity of video that you have to produce is enormous. So someone there every day making 3, 4, 5 videos is worth the amount of money that you would pay them as an employee. Hiring an in-house video person will also provide you with more consistency, right? You have the same creator that's leaving their fingerprints on all of the content that's surrounding your brand, giving you a nice sort of edge up on a brand voice simply because it's one person speaking. You can likely have more creative control over that process, since it is probably a smaller version of what you would be doing with a larger crew. Now, with that caveat, an in-house creator will likely not have access to the same resources that an external creator will have. But since they're with you as an employee, you can guide them on that learning curve path and begin to build that tower of skills and resources up until you both are happy with what's being produced. It's important for an in-house hire to be a full stack creator. So that means someone that's not only good at camera operations, but is also an editor, a little bit of graphic design in there, copywriting, creative conception, project management. There's a lot of skills that need to fit under that umbrella for that one creator to hold if they're going to provide you with the value long term. Now that we've kind of shown the pros and cons, a little bit of each, let's talk about setting some realistic expectations for what you can achieve based upon a certain budget. It goes without saying that higher quality content is more expensive. It goes without saying that more assistance with that entire marketing process that is tied into the video is going to be more expensive. If you want it faster, it's more expensive. There's a lot of factors that are going to begin to raise that price tag up. So we set realistic expectations for what can be achieved with the amount of budget that you have. If you're hiring an internal person, you may need to allocate some of that budget toward purchasing the equipment for that creator to use. In a typical video budget, you're going to see a breakdown that includes pre-production. So that's the video planning, that's location scouting, that's talent scouting, that's creating a list of shots, that's getting all of your storyboards prepared, it's getting the entire treatment written and then approved by you, the client. Then you have the actual video production, which is what everybody thinks about when they think of making a video, which is they show up with the cameras, the lights, the clappers, the microphones, action. That's the video production. Then there's the post-production process, typically the longest of all of the processes. And this is the editing of the video. The editing can very easily become the most expensive portion depending on how many revisions and how many changes you're requesting to be made. It's important to understand within that budget how many changes you and your leadership are going to be able to get away with without making that price tag climb high. If it's an in-house person, change it as much as you want, right? They're getting paid either way. So you can spend all day, you can spend months just revising the same video over and over again. So that's another one of those balance points. So you got your budget, you got your big dream, you want to make a great video. Let's start qualifying some videographers to get this ball rolling, right? So what's the process here? How do you know if a videographer is any good? And I've learned over time that this is a tricky process for a lot of people shopping for videographers. I would recommend the first thing you want to do is watch their reel. It's REEL. This is essentially a video resume that's going to show off a lot of different images of different projects that they've done. By watching their reel, you're going to get an understanding of the kind of creative that you are hiring. So if you're seeing this reel and you're seeing a diversity of styles, or maybe you're seeing one style, is that style a style that you really like? When you're watching the reel, does any of it look like the video that you are trying to create? Because videographers can be great at certain things and not other things. You might see a reel, videographer, amazing. He's got big landscapes, he's got sunsets, he has slow motion ballet, but you are trying to do a talking head sit down interview. You see another creator, they're doing sit down talking head interviews, right? But something just doesn't look right about it, right? And you don't need to know what isn't right about it. What you know is that your eyes are not pleased by what you're seeing. Because the people that are watching this video are also not going to be video creators. They're going to be your target audience. So if it doesn't look right to you, it's likely not going to look right to them. With that said, let's take a quick double take and remember that while you might want a Hollywood movie level production, your budget might not support that. So you do have to strike a balance with quality in that regard. When you're watching reel, you don't necessarily know the budget of that clip that's being shown. You also don't know exactly what that videographer did. There's a variety of roles in the creator space, and so someone might have a piece of video in that reel because they played a certain part in it, not necessarily the entire process. So when you're hiring a videographer, video team, you want to ask them about who's the director, who's the camera operator, who's the editor? Is it one person? Is it two people? Is it 10 people? What's it going to take? I can feel you burning. I know the question you want to ask is, how much does a video cost? How do I know I'm not getting ripped off? You guys know what to do. You get a bunch of quotes, you go with the cheapest one, right? That's what you do every time. No, but really, you wouldn't even be coming here if you weren't having an issue with that. For this answer, you really just want to see the pricing breakdown. So ask your videographer for a quote, for a proposal, and itemize that breakdown. See where that money is being spent. Is this crew day rates? Is a lot of it post-production? Are they including the gear package as part of the price, or is that built into another part of the price? Even when it comes to wedding videos, you're typically going to pay anywhere from $1,800 to $3,500 for a wedding video, which is typically 1 to 2 guys, multiple cameras, a lot of editing. So if your production is bigger than someone's wedding, it's likely it's going to be more expensive. But this is not always the case. I mean, especially if you're going internal, then you can get away with the flat rate for constant creative coming out consistently. Are you hiring an agency, a production company, a freelancer? How many years of experience do they have? If a videographer doesn't have a reel, if you ask for a reel, they don't have one. It's likely they've never done anything. So in that case, you might be able to get them to produce video for you, maybe for free, potentially, or at least incredibly cheap, because there's a trade here. You're giving them the experience, giving them rights to use that video in their soon to be created reel, and you get some content as a result. Also, students fresh out of college, they're ready to get their feet wet. They want to make some video. You can grab them up. Very inexpensive, comparatively speaking, but you're getting what you're paying for, right? So you're part of that expertise process, and you're getting that discount as a result. You might get lucky and you might grab a creator that's just doesn't have the experience, but is incredible. Savant, Artur. In that case, jackpot for you. Great job. Not usually the case, just gonna say. But hey, we all start somewhere. If you're starting with video, maybe get a videographer that's starting. If you're trying to compete and you know the kind of quality level that you need to be a little more diligent when you're hiring that videographer. So where do you find one? Where do you find a videographer, right? Where should you be looking? Should I be on Craigslist? Probably not. My number one recommendation when you're looking for a videographer is ask someone that's made a video that you like. Get that direct referral. This likely means that you've already seen their work. They've already worked with them. They can give you a firsthand experience that is someone that you trust. After referrals, you can always go to Facebook, LinkedIn, do some searches around, send some DMs. You have service websites like Thumbtack, like Bark, like Clutch, Upcity, Production Hub, The Knot for the wedding folks. All of these are going to be directories full of videographers that you can take your pick from. When we're talking about students, you can contact the college department directly, especially for an in-house person. If you want to sort of dip your toe into what it feels like to have a content creator on staff, you might be able to get an intern to come into your company for a couple weeks and just sort of both of you can feel out what that experience is going to be like. If you've never had an in-house video person before, you might not be able to offer them a lot of guidance in that regard. If your goals around the content are aligned and your vision is very clear, I think they would have a great experience working with a company doing video for someone that isn't necessarily a videographer either, because this is the experience that they're going to need out in the field. If you've gone through all of those steps and you still can't find the video fit that's right for you, you can contact me, Mike Heffron, 6fimedia.com. We're doing video all day, all night. We can help you align those goals and guide you every step of the way through your video creation process. If this is your first time tuning in to Tight Briefs, I want to say thank you. Please consider hitting that like button, that follow button, subscribe button, whatever button is nearby on whatever device you're listening to this on. You can also subscribe to our newsletter where you're going to get weekly content drops right in your inbox. Link in the description below. See you next time.